You know?
Sure.
Some of these guys are making it on momentum. Okay. Glenn Beck is, I'm going to be honest. He is a snake oil salesman of the worst kind.
Right.
The guy does not live what he preaches.
You don't think so?
He's a phony. He's a disgusting human being.
Wow.
I hate Glenn Beck. I don't hate him because I've never met him. I reserve hate for people who have, who I have a personal relationship with.
No, I understand what you're saying.
But I hate what he stands for, and what he stands for is the lowest common denominator.
Right.
Soapbox time. Even in small market radio, what I try to do is talk a little bit over the room, just a little bit.
Right.
Try to raise the bar, people. If you want to be in radio too, you can't be smarter than the room, but you can raise the bar.
That's true. Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So my advice, get into college, stay in college, get good grades, blah, 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 blah. Internships are just a part of the world that we live in these days.
Right.
Get an internship if you can. But if you can get an internship into a small or medium market, almost the smaller the better, but a Sterling, up to maybe a Fort Collins, although FOMO's a pretty big damn town.
Yeah.
And it's a college town.
And there's a lot of competition, I'd imagine.
A lot of competition.
Right.
So go to a Sterling or a Fort Morgan or, FOMO is Fort Morgan. FOCO is Fort Collins. There we go.
Actually, it's Morgan County's MoCo.
Oh, it's MoCo.
The Booger Boys.
So we'd be in Loco.
Loco and MoCo.
All right.
The Crazy Booger. That's what we should name our comedy weekend.
The Loco MoCo.
The Loco MoCo.
That's awesome. But anyway, so yeah, get into it and discover what being a part of your community is all about. Because that's what radio is, man. We don't just blah, 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 talk and try to be funny. We tell people things that are important to them. We let them in on things that are important to them.
Right.
I don't know.
Let me ask you something. You interview people how often? Every day, right? Do you have guests every day?
Almost every day, yeah.
Can you remember a time, Andy, when you had a guest that was just out of control? Have you ever had one? Have you ever had one you've actually that's made you nervous to have on the radio?
Oh, you're going to have to give me time to think about that. That's a great question. I love that question because I know I've had them. People that make me nervous to have on the radio. Yeah, there have been a few of those. And so much of it is lost in the mists of drug and alcohol abuse.
Sure.
Back, that foggy thing. I'd have to kind of sweep away some cobwebs.
How do you deal with it? I mean, do you take the reins and just start talking over them? I mean, how do you stop something like that?
Well, yeah, because in this market, I don't have to rely on giving my engineer a cue to kill their mic. I am the engineer. I'm like, okay, no. And I don't. It hasn't happened recently.
Okay.
It hasn't. There are people though that tend to go on quite a bit. And I'm one of them, so I understand.
Me too.
But there are people that come in that want to go on and on and on. And the average length of my interview is 10 minutes.
Sure.
I schedule people for 15. They stay 20, 25 minutes in the studio, before and after we talk, especially if they're, gun people.
Right.
But the average time is, 10, 12 minutes that we're actually on the air. And I have people that go, oh, well, if you don't have any more guests, and they go on for 25, 35 minutes. There are people who would normally be very, very interesting, and what they have to say is great, but they take forever to say it. I'm not going to name names.
No, I don't want to.
Because it's a small freaking town.
Yeah.
But that happens to me occasionally today. People who are out of control and I just don't ever want to have on the air again. Yeah. Besides you and Adam?
Besides me, you beat me to that punch. I was waiting for you to be.
Because you guys, you got something to pimp, you got something to sell, and you're paying good money to be on the air. You tend to behave yourselves. There's a situation that just pops into my mind, and I can almost see the guy's face, and he was and I was like, crazy, and I cannot bring up his name right now, but it has happened. And what you do is you laugh your way through it, you kill the mic, you get out of it as quickly as you can. I've never had anybody refuse to take the hint.
Really?
Yeah. The hint being, that's pretty funny, not appropriate for our audience. We're going to go to break. We'll be back with more after this. Kill the mics, and you tell them, okay, that shit ends now.
Wow. Was it cursing? Was it just?
It wasn't cursing. No. It was just
inappropriate.
Yeah, crazy, wacky, inappropriate. I mean, this is a podcast. This goes out to well, I guess whomever wants to download it.
Right.
But on the air, we have standards, and the FCC stands on our neck.
Sure.
So, and I've never had anybody not get the hint.
Well, when you're blunt about it like that, it's hard not to get the hint, I guess. Right? I mean,
yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, you just okay. We'll be back after this. Boom, dude. Yeah, no, that was way out of control.
Right.
And you can do that. I mean, there are tools.
You ever had a stalker, man? I know a lot of people come out here to watch the show because you're here. They like you. You're well loved in this town.
Not since I was 18 years old.
Okay.
And it wasn't really a stalker. It was a smoking hot brunette in a red crushed velvet skin tight dress, and
that's not really the angle I was going at.
No, it wasn't a dangerous.
Everybody
thing.
wants that stalker, my friend.
It wasn't a dangerous thing, except that she was separated, not divorced from her husband. They ended up getting back together.
must have been her first marriage.
It could have been, yeah. That was when I was like 18, 17. It was
really.
Cool. You know what? You got to meet my brother. You got to ask my brother about some stories.
What's your brother do for a living?
He works at Sykes.
Okay,
and he's a columnist and a former radio, and because he worked with me this century at KPMX Radio. He and I worked together there.
Really?
Yeah. He's also a journalist. He's a newspaperman. He's got a master's degree in English. He teaches. He works at Sykes, and he does many things, all of them very well. He wrote a great column in the Journal Advocate about the whole cessation. What do you call it when you split away? Secession. Thank you.
Okay.
Secession.
Like Texas would like to do.
Yeah, like Texas wants to do from the U.S.
Yeah.
And now Weld County wants to get all of us out here in northeastern Colorado to join them.
How do you feel about that?
And secede from Colorado. Part of me, the gun-toting part of me, says, you go. But the part of me that realizes that what Colorado's economy is made out of says, oh, hell no. What are you thinking? Think about this. What are the three main the three main industries, the big three in Colorado are in ascending importance: tourism, then agriculture is number 2, and number 1 is minerals.
Right.
Meaning oil, everything from oil to molybdenum. Right. So mining, drilling, all of that stuff. That's number 1. Then agriculture is number 2, and then tourism is number 3.
Right.
So northeast Colorado splits away from the rest of the state. Right.
And part of Nebraska.
Oh, okay. So let's throw in some of Nebraska.
Some of it they're in
okay.
on it, right?
I don't think we're in negotiations with them.
No, I think there are some counties up there that actually are going to join in on the North Colorado thing. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Anyway, yeah, maybe so. Some of the Panhandle and out east.
Right.
Maybe McCook.
That'd be great.
It'd be cool to cop Swanson Lake. But let's okay. So now what do we have? We don't have minerals because I don't think the oil boom that's going on in Weld County is enough.
Right.
Agriculture's always been a real iffy proposition.
Sure.
And we're in the middle of a freaking drought right now.
Right.
And we can kiss tourism's ass goodbye. What do we have? I mean, I love where I grew up. This is my home.
Right.
But people don't come across the United States to hunt our deer out on the South Platte River. They go to Montrose,
Right.
And besides, what would be our capital? I mean, Sterling would
Greeley.
have.
It'd be Greeley.
Oh, fuck that.
That's
okay,
what I
I'm
said.
sorry. I'm just saying. Right
but I mean,
now.
it makes sense because Greeley's already got the ghetto. You know what I mean? That's all I got to say. You walk in and like, oh, look at this shithole. This must be their fucking capital.
This has got to be their capital city.
I don't know.
Okay, you talk to people from Nebraska. You know Huskers. I know Huskers. Love my Huskers. What's the biggest bitch people in Scottsbluff, Kimball, McCook, what's their biggest complaint about their government?
I don't know.
The same thing that we have, that Lincoln is clear across the state, and Lincoln doesn't give a rat's ass about western Nebraska. It's too far away, and Lincoln's got their college, and they got their Huskers, and they're fine. Screw you, Kimball, Nebraska.
Right.
Goodbye, Gehring.
Right.
That's the complaint. The same thing that we get here in Northeast Colorado when we say that that Capitol Hill doesn't recognize anything east of I-25. All right?
Okay, sure.
So the problem then with Greeley is they're going to be clear over there up against the state, rubbing elbows with Boulder and Denver, and they're going to be the Boulder or Denver of Northeast Colorado. If you're going to break away philosophically, make Otis your capital, okay? People are real in Otis, for Christ's sake.
Let me ask you this, though. Wasn't that the big problem to begin with? Not that they were a separate state, but this used to all be Weld County at one point in time.
Yeah, at one time it was.
And isn't that why they broke off? Because, I mean, when you had to go to court or whatever, isn't
Bingo. You had to go all the way to Greeley.
Yeah, that was a big problem, wasn't it? Okay,
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Hey, look at me knowing a little bit of history.
Up top, man. That was awesome.
You want to know where I learned that from? 105.7 KPMX. I was listening
you.
to one of your shows, and I was like, I didn't know that, but that's the same difference, I guess.
Same thing. It's the exact same thing. We split away from Weld County because that's actually a brilliant point. I'm going to start making that on
Thank
the air.
you.
I'm going to
Thank you.
steal that shit from you.
You give me my props, man.
Okay, I will do. I will say, you know what Moose told me? Wait a minute. We broke away from Weld County. Why should we want to go back to being them?
Be North Colorado. And you know what else? You know what the worst part about identity is? I don't want to write the word fucking North on everything from here on out.
And it didn't. You asked people in North Dakota how well that's working for them.
When did that happen?
I don't have any idea.
It's been a while.
As I understand, I think I read this, and I run the risk of sounding like a complete idiot. I'm going to go ahead and take that chance. I don't care.
Yeah.
I think West Virginia was the last state to actually secede from an established state.
Right.
I think. I don't know. I think I read that somewhere. Maybe I dreamt it. Anything's possible.
I'm telling you, that happens to me all the time.
Does it?
And
you're like, oh, and then you tell people that?
Yeah.
Try telling 30,000 people that one time in one sentence. Your shit will get handed to you.
I bet you're right.
True.
Well, Andy, I think we're going to wrap it up. We're almost at an hour and a half. Look at us.
Oh, my God. Well, you'll have to edit like 90% of this out.
No,
This has been a blast.
We're not going to edit any of it. It's great you were coming. Andy Rice on Facebook. You don't have a Twitter.
I do have a Twitter account. I never access it.
Really?
Just hit me up on Facebook.
Okay.
I'm all right. I'll be your friend. I need friends. That's why I'm in radio.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm going to pimp myself out a little bit. You can find me on Twitter at Moose Lundstrom, on Twitter. My email address is moose@24road.com. That's our website. We're kind of building it still. We're still kind of trying to perfect it. When the shows come up and about and start running, that's where all the dates will be. A lot of the comics will be, their info, their bios, their headshots, all that stuff. And all the Juggernaut brothers will have.
I thought you said head shop.
Headshots.
Yeah, I get it now. I don't know.
You
Certainly, I've got one thing on my mind.
Smoking a little.
Yeah.
So anyway, Moose Lundstrom at Moose Lundstrom on Twitter, Moose at 24road.com.
Check out Delgado's Dugout.
Check out Delgado's Dugout. They are also on Facebook. You can find them. If you're coming through Sterling, come check them out. They've been here since the 78, 77, what do you say?
Yeah, I think he said 77, 72, I don't know,
and
forever.
Yeah, and it's crazy because everybody knows this place. Even in Morgan County, when we say Delgado's Dugout, they're just like, ooh.
Yeah. Well, they had a satellite up in Moco for a while.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to that. That's been a long time ago.
You know, there can only be one true Delgado's in my mind.
Maybe so. Maybe it's just it's not an old church down there. It was across from the mortuary. I remember that. Which is that's kind of a rule I don't eat. Like, well, this place is pretty close to the fucking dead house. So, you know what I mean? Location. All right, guys. Thank you very much for listening. Also, subscribe to this on iTunes. Leave a comment.
Sweet.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna teach you how here in a second, Andy.
Oh, do that.
Okay.
I'm a complete Luddite when it comes to this shit.
Awesome. All right. Thank you very much. You guys have a good night. And Juggernaut!